Realism! Why do I look like that? Seriously, that DLSS joke is getting out of hand. Alright, One Piece live action. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Either way, did you know that when the cast was preparing for Season 2, which takes place in Alabasta arc, Oda jokingly drew Chopper's concept. Like this! Some people will say, oh no, it loses the charm of cute Chopper, it looks ugly. For that I say, no! It's drawn perfectly! The cuteness is over the top! I mean, look at this face! Hey, come on, I'll make you in 3D, to show you all the love and care that you deserve. Alrighty, let me start by blocking out the overall body and all the features to make sure the proportion is right for our little boy. Chopper is someone who is really dear to me in One Piece. Get it? If Nami's hour-long park was the moment it got me interested, Drum Kingdom was the moment it got me hooked. To this day, I would say it's in my top 5 arcs in the whole series. When we first get a glimpse of that kingdom, I thought, okay, it's interesting. These tower-shaped mountains with flat plateaus at the top, like nature built its own fortresses. And then there's the snow. Just endless snow. And then Chopper shows up, a reindeer who mistakenly ate the human fruit. He was a lonely, poor soul who couldn't be accepted by either world, not the humans and not the animals. Okay, I'm done with blocking out. I'll just remesh them and start working on next level of shape detailing. So far I like how it is. Chopper's backstory was okay at first, but it got better and better for me. His life takes a different turn when he meets Dr. Hiriluk for the first time. I love saying that name. Dr. Hiriluk was indeed a doctor, but I would like to see him as scientist. He experiments with lots of ingredients trying to cure all kinds of illnesses. Basically a delusional person who believed that cherry blossom could cure any disease. But at least he had a heart of gold. Chopper, who got hurt so much from humans, finally accepted and trusted a human for the first time when Hiriluk convinced him he wouldn't harm him by stripping naked in the freezing cold. I mean, I don't blame Chopper. That Hiriluk move was diabolical. He's crazy enough to do it just to help Chopper. But now that I think about it, what if Hiriluk originally wanted to experiment on Chopper as a patient? But since Chopper was such a sweetheart, he gave up on that idea. Huh, interesting. What gets me teared up as a grown man to this day is still the ending of the arc. Everything led up to this culmination. Hiriluk's dream that when cherry blossoms, it will save this country, indeed came to life, just like he said himself. You as a viewer will think that he is indeed crazy that thinks he can make cherry blossoms on a forever winter island. I was actually stunned by how he achieved it. The whole island now has a giant sakura tree. In the end, you understand he's a man with a dream that made it come true. What an incredible man. That is what makes One Piece One Peak! That's why I love it. Alright, let me start working on the face. Because in this Oda sketch, the face is doing everything. Less of that adorable plush toy design and more like someone drew this with full confidence and absolutely zero regrets. So, One Piece live action. People are genuinely excited, and I get it. The production value is real. The sets, the costumes, the locations, they clearly invested money and love to this craft. Actor casting is actually really solid. If these characters somehow existed in real life, those are the people they would look like. I'll give them full credit for that. But I couldn't finish season 1 to tell you the truth. After Usopp's arc, I just got bored and a lot of things didn't feel right. I watched some clips on YouTube and Twitter just to see how things turned out. It just didn't click with me. I was wondering what was wrong even if the characters and sets are good. It was the acting. It's like everyone is performing. Not in a natural, lived-in kind of way, but theatrical. And I don't even blame the actors, they have such a heavy expectation on their shoulders. It's a big responsibility for them to play the fans' favorite character right. I think it's a fundamental problem with the adaptation itself. Because One Piece is enormous. The emotions are enormous. The world is bizarre and beautiful and mysterious and sometimes completely, deliberately absurd. Characters have all kinds of different proportions and powers which works only in fictional medium. When characters shout their attack names in the live action with the CGI, I get a little bit of tone change. The tone can swing from genuine badass to cringy comedy within the same scene. In animation, all of that works perfectly because the medium can stretch reality. It can go anywhere. But you put a real human on screen and ask them to match that energy, and suddenly things look forced, theatrical. It's not their fault, it's mismatch of medium. Some things are just built for specific medium. Take for example Junji Ito's horror mangas. How many times they try to adapt it into animation but almost always fail. Junji Ito writes for manga medium, which takes full advantage of that. And One Piece was built for animation. You just can't adapt to that world. The bizarre islands, the fever dream logic, the way mystery and humor share the same frame. You can't do all of that in live action without something getting lost. But I'll be honest, among all the live action adaptations I watched, this one might be on the top. Okay, everything is coming together now. Since everything is basically done, I think it's a good time to get into sculpting the fur. I don't have a fur sculpting method, and I don't know any of that, but I know how to cheese it and make it look somewhat like a fur. So I'll be doing just that. Which brings me to the One Piece live action CGI Chopper. And look, I want to be fair here. I know how much work went into him. Rendering realistic fur can be brutal. Making something look cute and grounded at the same time is one of the hardest things in visual effects. I actually watched the behind the scenes of how they made him, and the amount of work that went into it is genuinely impressive. Like, real respect for that team. I gotta say that for me personally, he leans a little bit into the uncanny valley side of things. The animated 2D Chopper is cute because he's allowed to be unrealistic. The oversized head, the flat face, the expressions that defy anatomy, it works because animation doesn't need to explain itself to you. The CGI Chopper is trying to be cute and real at the same time, and those two things are fighting each other. The cuteness feels engineered, like it was carefully calculated rather than simply felt. The expressions are good, they are, but something about them feels slightly forced to me. I think the best way to describe it to you is, those anime fans trying to speak like anime characters in real life? That's exact feeling I'm getting here. I know a lot of people are gonna disagree with me on this, and that's completely fine. I'm just sharing how I felt watching it. If you've enjoyed CGI Chopper, I'm genuinely happy for you. I think I'll always prefer Chopper in 2D, or if it has to be 3D, I want him to stay cartoony. I've been going back and forth on the hat. In the sketch, it's just sitting there. Funny thing is, his hat doesn't feel like a costume piece. It's just part of him now. I mean, how does he take it off and wear it again with these antlers, eh? Adding some basic toon shader and vertex paint to define some areas made this sculpt look a lot better than I expected. For the presentation, let's add sakura leaves falling from the top to give this vibe from the original concept, and we're done. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you Chopper! You know, I love when creators joke about their own creations. And I love how Oda sensei made a little joke by drawing Chopper in this way. Does he look stupid? Absolutely. Does he look cute? I'd say yes. It has that dumb look that is cute to look at. Imagine if we got this one instead of the current CGI one, huh? The internet would have exploded with hate comments. It would have been another Sonic situation. Alright, that's it from me. If you like this, or you think Oda's concept looked genuinely incredible, drop a like, leave a comment to let me know. If we have a lot of support for this guy, maybe I can actually make a usable model and rig him up. Anyway, just wanted to make this character real quick and share my take on live action with you. Now I'll go back to sorting all your questions I collected in this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, before leaving, let me just ask him this question. So, Chopper, tell me, what do you think of One Piece live action from Netflix?